That was my literal first step up into comedy. You know, I can remember so many nights lying on my back with my legs spread and a woman over me. Then my mom would walk into the room and ask how the physical therapy was going. So that's what started my physical therapy fetish. Do you know how hard it is to find someone who will play physical therapist authentically? She'll be like, okay, now it's time to stretch out the quadriceps. And then I'll jump out of bed and go, no, those are the hamstrings. Quadriceps on top of the leg. And then she'll go, hey, I knew that. I was just pulling your leg. Sex and physical therapy have a lot in common. You can pay for it. You can do it yourself. And also I got out of class in middle school to do it. You know, I tried to fake a dating profile and got confused by the question, which way do you lean? My first girlfriend had spastic cerebral palsy. That was fun. What makes 16-year-old romance more awkward? Uncontrollable limb motions. I remember once, the first time her hand landed on my crotch, and I was like, this is awkward, but I'm getting mixed signals from you, because you said you didn't want to go further. But she would just say, I'm sorry, I'm getting mixed signals from my brain. Yeah, so we both have cerebral palsy, but she was a premature baby. It's kind of interesting because she was born 5 days before me, even though technically she should have been born after because she was premature, but she was born before. What I'm trying to say is my girlfriend came before me, but only because she came prematurely. So I have mitochondrial cerebral palsy from oxygen deprivation at birth. I'm going to go into my birth trauma routine now. I hope I don't botch the delivery. Having a traumatic birth is pretty great. I mean, you get the worst day of your life out first, and you don't even remember it. What happened was I got stuck on the way out of my mom and couldn't breathe for 2 minutes. What's the best way not to be upset about oxygen deprivation at birth? You just don't fixate on it. So they got me out, and my parents were very upset to get a dead baby boy because they wanted a dead baby girl. And then the doctor goes, great news, gender's a social construct. Also, the baby is breathing. So they put me on a helicopter and got me to another hospital. And it's like, it's a good thing my parents didn't have a home birth. Because you know what you call a traumatic home birth? A midwife crisis. I used to volunteer at a preschool for kids with disabilities, the same one I had gone to. And I guess I just wanted to teach them that even if you try really hard, life is still terrible. One of my favorite things to do was to take two different puzzles, and mix up the pieces. It's 10 times funnier when they have fine motor difficulties. Uh, I also liked, I felt bad reading some of the stories to them though. Like I always hated reading them The Little Engine That Could, you know, because some people just can't. Timeouts didn't really work because they would just put the kids in the corner and put the brakes on the wheelchair. Except some kids could actually, you know, reach and take off the brakes. So I guess the moral is the more able-bodied you are, the more you can break the rules. We also had to read them fairy tales. So I decided to write my own disabled Disney fairy tale. Ready? Completely original. Once upon a time, there was a fair, single-leg amputee named Cinderella. She wanted to go to the ball, but the dress code said 2 glass slippers. And she only had 1 leg. So she goes to her fairy godmother and is like, yo, can you hit me up with another leg? And then Disney comes in, and Disney's like the deity that watches over the Magic Kingdoms. And Disney's like, we don't want to tell girls that they can be cured by magic, so we gotta veto the leg. So the fairy godmother says, okay, I can give you this prosthetic leg and attach it by magic, but it's gonna fall off at midnight. So fast forward to the ball. She's dancing with the prince, awkwardly, because she's not used to 2 legs. Then suddenly it hits midnight and the magic breaks. She tries to run away, awkwardly, because she's not used to 2 legs. And then the leg falls off and she tumbles down the stairs. She crawls back home and the prince finds the leg and he's like, now, statistically, how many amputees are there in this kingdom? So he finds Cinderella and puts the leg back on and it fits. And the Cinderella goes, does this mean we're gonna get married? And the prince says, nah, just pulling your leg. All right, so paraplegic, a double-arm amputee, and someone with metastatic cerebral palsy all walk. I'll go into a bar. The paraplegic guests drive a standing cab. The amputee says, I don't know offhand. The person with a toxic CP says, I'll have mine shaken, not stirred. Bartender says, okay, what's going on here? And the person with CP says, okay, this has all been an act. Bartender says, an act? What would you call such an act? And all 3 say, the aristocrats. Thank you.